I'm clicking go live. Now I'm going to click back to Zoom. I'm back in Zoom now. Okay, good afternoon and a warm welcome from Satit Bilingual School of Rangsit University, or SBS for short, as we say. We are live right now, and we are really delighted to be able to bring to you another webinar in our series involving former students, our treasured alumni. Now, today's discussion will be focused on university choices, the process of which includes making the right decisions to best suit the personal preferences for the academic and career pathways of our students here at SBS. Now, clearly, there are so many factors to consider when making these individual and personal choices. They're very important choices to make. And we're going to be getting into all of that in our chat with our two former students here from SBS. So, at this point, why don't I introduce them to you right now? Actually, or better still, perhaps I can invite them to introduce themselves. Let's do that. So, Atom, if you don't mind, can I start with you? Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? So, for example, when you graduated from SBS, where you are right now, so what university you're at, and what course you decided to choose to take.
Hi, my name is Brunada Wuti or Atom. I'm 18 years old and I'm currently studying in the Faculty of Communication Arts in Chulalongkorn University, and had been the student of SBS since I was in K1, so 15 years in SBS. So I graduated M6 from Satit Rangsit School.
Wow, okay, thank you. Communication Arts. If you don't mind me saying, I think that's a very good choice for you. So thank you. Yeah, okay, thank you, Atom. We'll get into more detailed questions a little later on. So now over to you, Lapatrada, who better known as Cake to us. So really, yes, the same open question to you, Cake. Tell us a little bit about your background at SBS, where you are right now, and what you're studying.
So hi, my name is Lapalada Bonet, or Cake. Right now, currently I'm studying digital communication design in Chulalongkorn University International College. I graduate M6 from Satit Rangsit. I spent like a few years there because I just entered that since I was like M2.
Okay, all right. So yeah, Atom, you were here a long time, and Cake not so long, but if I may say so, also another very good choice. Knowing you two the way I do, I think you both chose very well suited. But we'll come into those kind of details in this discussion. So before we get into that, by the way, for our viewers watching, if any of our viewers have any questions at all, if anything you think of along the way, please use the comment section to write your questions. You can write your questions in the Thai language or the English language or any other language that you prefer. Usually most of our viewers are Thai speakers or English speakers, so please feel free to do that, and at some point towards the end of this I will try to address any questions that you have. Okay, so let's perhaps get into some of the details a bit more. Because, in terms of, let's think about the courses that you're doing. There's so many different factors to consider, aren't there, before signing on the dotted line, as it were. So just to give a few examples that I can think of, I'm thinking about myself here. Real love of the subject. Primarily that was what I really thought about myself personally. It was the real love of the subject. There were other factors, of course, but that was a big one for me. Perhaps the importance or the relevance that it has for a career that you might be thinking about. Perhaps that was a big factor in you making that decision. I don't know, perhaps you also consider the level of difficulty it might present to you, the challenges it presented, the duration of the course, the pre-required qualifications. Obviously, that's very important. You need to meet those requirements that are needed for entrance acceptance. And of course, not forgetting the fees, the cost as well. You know, all of these things, and I'm sure there are many more that we can think of and get into. And if you can think of anything else, I'd be very happy to hear you share those thoughts. So, yes, back to Atom. So, yeah, maybe tell us a little bit about what were the main factors for you personally when choosing communication arts at Chula University?
So for me, at first, I didn't know which areas that I liked, like exactly, but I knew what I didn't like, so I could eliminate some choice. I knew that I didn't like medical subjects or medical track and like business or like art that are architecture and stuff like that. So I kind of eliminated some choices. And I knew that I really want to get into Chula. Like, although I didn't know the faculty yet, but I know that I want to get into Chula. It has always been my number one choice because of its reputation and stuff like that. It's very known for like its difficulties in order to get into that because the requirements are quite high and challenging. So I kind of want to challenge myself too. So I chose Chula. And then after I knew that I want to get into Chula, I looked up on their website to see if there's any curriculum or programs that I like. So I found this communication arts, and the curriculum is really interesting. It's about communication management merged with marketing, which kind of suits my interest because in the end, I want to own my own business. So I want to have some knowledge about marketing and management, but I didn't want to go too deep into like econ or finance or business. So this was a very like suitable choice for me.
Yeah.
And another factors are like I've heard that many students that are graduated from Chula are really high quality and they have like more likely chance to get a better job too. And the connections there are really high quality, and I want to make connections with different kinds of people because there are so many people in Chula. So I think that is a very important factor too. And also the location of the university. It's in the center of Bangkok. So I want to have and live my life in the next 4 years there because of the convenient transportation, food, and everything, and the people too.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. That was a very nice, detailed answer there, Atom. And it seems clear that the university itself was, the main driving force for you making your choice. And quite clearly, Chula University is one of the most famous universities, if not the most famous university in this country, Thailand. And so, it has that reputation and it has that history. And a lot of people already know about it, so it's got that. It's very prestigious in that way. So, just it should have a lot of qualities, and I think you recognise that that it should have a lot of qualities based on all of those factors. And going there, obviously the name would look good on the CV as well. That's another thing to consider. And then it seems like it was a secondary thing where you considered, you would have obviously in the back of your mind known what you were good at and what you wanted to do, and you wouldn't have been surprised that Chula offered, a lot of possibilities in your favourite subject area. So thank you very much, Atom, for sharing that. Over to you again, Kate. So listening to Atom there, what she just shared with us, did any of what she said kind of chime with you or resonate with you? Did you share many of those ideas, or was there something quite different?
Yes, I start same as Atom. I start from my interest, and I do eliminate some of the subjects I don't like math and science. Actually, before I was hesitating from going to Chula or Silapakon International, but then I look at the curriculum. Then I liked the way like Silapacon deliver me more. Like they have like three routes, which is three major, which is animation, illustration, and film. So you can choose this in your second years. And also in the campus life, I know some of the people who study there. So I asked them like, how's the people there? How do the teacher teach and everything? So that also helped me make the decision in choosing this university. Also, the opportunity that the university gave me, like, if you graduated in Silapacon International, you will get a double degree. So for digital communication design, they partner with Birmingham University. So when you graduate, you will get both from Silapacon and Birmingham University.
Excellent.
Also, in the fourth year, you can choose to go and study abroad for like 1 terms. Yeah, so which give like a lot of like opportunity, and also for like master degree, it will be more easier if you're gonna go and study there.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. Excellent answer. Again, you just said something that reminded me of an opportunity that was presented to us at my university when I was there, and it was that opportunity to go to another country in I think it was actually the third year. I was on a 4-year course. And by the way, that was another factor, because most university courses, I believe, are 3-year courses in the UK, and this was unusual in that respect. So it was a 4-year course. But the third year, there was an opportunity to travel to. I didn't actually, in the end, take that opportunity, although it was offered to me, just because I was loving it so much where I was, and I'd set up a lot of kind of things and projects that required me to be there. So yeah, thank you for that. I just want to talk a little bit about just coming back to SBS a little bit and remembering your time here in the years past. So I was just wondering how, or to what extent, the resources that we have here at SBS helped you or gave you advice. So, for example, we have a number of MOUs now, and that number is increasing. And these partnerships really help us a lot, because we can work with these particular institutions and set up all kinds of benefits for our students, for example, fast tracking, internship opportunities, and so on. Okay, and they offer other courses outside of university, so to gain credits and so on, where students can study in their final year. And of course, we have other internships. We have field trips. We have a very big digital platform called Unifrog, where students at their fingertips can search all over the world and perhaps get inspired. So, yeah, I was just wondering just to what extent any of those resources kind of influenced you in some way, maybe made you think about something that you perhaps didn't think about before. Because I remember you both going on internships, for example. So what were those experiences like? I think you both did, didn't you? Oh, perhaps you didn't. Okay, it was mostly in medicine. Okay, so Atom, was there anything there in what I just said that perhaps influenced you or inspired you in some way?
Of course, SBS helped me a lot with my preparation process and my application. So SBS provides both like academic parts and extracurricular activities, and it's really important to include both like academic achievements and extracurricular activities into your portfolio. Like, although for my portfolio it's an art portfolio, but it's still really important to include the academic part as well, because it shows that you're well-rounded and you're capable of doing many things, and it makes you look like a higher quality student. So for academic achievements, I took the AS level media studies, which is like the option that the school provided for the students who might not be interested in joining the medical track, which was a really great opportunity for me, because this course did taught me a lot about the media studies, and also it ensured that I am really into this track, and it also like developed my skills that I've never tried before, like making films, shooting, and there are so many activities that I did during class that are like practical tasks, not only the knowledge that can be found like in the book, but it's very valuable for me. And other activities that I included in my portfolio that the school provided are like MC events. It's related to communication, so I included that too. I did some MC events, and since I was in P6 or M1, I did host one TV program provided by the RSU. It's called Wisdom Kids, and I hosted that show, and I also put that experience into my portfolio too. And it was a really great opportunity. Apart from this, I also did the student council. I was the communications officer of the student council, and my role was to write emails to teacher and just to communicate. And I also included that. And also I did Thai MUN debate, which developed my speaking skills a lot because I have to communicate in English a lot with other people inside and outside school. And, Thai MUN debate, it's MUN, so it's very, high standard. And so that's one of the work that I put into my portfolio as well. And other than that, like activities that are not related to communications, there are also like sports competition that I participated in and other academic achievements too.
Wow, fantastic. And I think we can all hear from your speaking that clearly, the development has been fantastic. So, well done. And it's very interesting listening to all of that actually. And again, you've just reminded me of something. The Wisdom Kids that you mentioned, it was some years ago, and I remember you interviewing me for something that we did. And so, yeah, and that was some time ago. It was before COVID. And you did a fantastic job of that. And I could see at that time I was relatively new to the school. And, I could see the quality of the kind of students that we had in this school from a very, very early on. And you've kicked on from there, and I've seen many of the superb videos that you've put together as well. So, yeah, great job. Well done. Thank you. And yeah, over to you, Kate. Yeah, so similar kind of question. Yeah, were there any inspirational teachers, perhaps, that you that you met along the way on your journey from M2? Yeah, go ahead. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I actually didn't attend much of activity because my portfolio, they just asked for like projects to make, not like academic stuff, but I do get like Mr. Jamie's to help with my portfolio. Like I borrow some of the stuff, like equipment from like media classes, and also media AS level and business also helped me a lot because it helped me develop a lot of stuff while working on my portfolio. I learned like a lot of stuff, and I include many stuff I learned to my projects. Like I also try making like animations and also like photo shooting in like my portfolios. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, and yeah, I think I saw some of that, and it looked absolutely amazing. So yeah, thank you very much, Kate. Yeah, some really interesting answers there, and it sounds like you've had some fabulous experiences that have been really, really positive in your development, and it's been a great experience for both of you. I'm very pleased to hear that, and it's really good that you mentioned those things as well. That there's a big variety academically, and also other events in the school that you can choose to do. It's true what you say, Atom, before about we do have a lot of students interested in the medical stream and the science streams, but we also offer these other opportunities because we know that we need to do that because that's not for every student. There are some students who prefer, like myself when I was a student, preferred the arts and the humanities subjects more. So we need to be making sure that those really good qualifications are being offered to our students as well, all right, at all times. So I'm really, really pleased to hear that and that it's helped you in very valuable ways. Okay, so just another question. So this next question occurred to me, and perhaps it's a little more personal, or has a little more of a personal angle to it, but I think it needs to be asked because, it might be a factor. I was just wondering to what extent your family influenced your decision on the university that you went to and the course that you did, because I don't know about you two, but perhaps you can tell us, but I do know from speaking to other students that is a very big factor. Of course, parents are going to get involved in the discussion. It would be weird if they didn't, okay? I'm a parent myself, this is your child, and this is a very important step in their life. So, of course, you would have had those discussions, and no doubt they would have given their opinions about that to you. So I was just wondering, for you two personally, to what extent did that influence your decision or not, as the case may be? Did it cause any friction, perhaps? Yeah, so perhaps this time I'll go back to you, Kate. Different order. Sorry about that, if that's okay.
So I did have a little fight with my dad because he actually wanted me to study in medical field like doctor, and I did try in M3. I did study IGCSE, which I don't like it. It's pretty torture for me. Yeah, but for my mom, most of my mom's family, they graduate from art faculty, and she really supports me in all those things. So she tell me a lot of stuff like how should I prepare myself and what should I study more, take extra courses to develop my skills, like drawing skills, something like that. So she really support me, but I also have a fight with my dad between that. But now he also understand because I explained him I like it and it's okay because I can also develop my skills and find a good career too. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Kate. And so like I said, I'm not surprised to hear that. And Mum and Dad, if you are listening, hello, and thank you so much for your love and support, by the way. And it's great that you show understanding and support your child in the love of what they want to do. That's so important. In my own personal opinion, that's so important because you're the guys who have got to do it. You're the ones who have to put your time and effort into that subject, read the books, go to the lectures, write the essays, for years of hard work, do the internships and so on. And if it's a subject that is not completely right for you, that could impact on your mental health a little bit. You certainly don't want that in a negative way. And at the same time, you'll be in a place where the course that you really love will be there, but you're not doing it, and you'll be seeing other students who are doing it, and you might be envious of them. So, and you obviously, you don't want that because that could just add to the issue, the negative issue. So I'm really pleased that, parents, of course, they're going to have their influence and they're going to have their say. Of course they will, and they need to. But an understanding between all of you a good compromise needs to be arrived at. So yes, thanks. Thank you very much, Kate. Yeah, back to you then, Atom. Yeah, same question. Was that an issue at all or not?
There's no conflict there's no conflict between my parents and me about choosing the faculty because they really understand the fact that I will be the one who is going to study in that faculty for 4 years. So they really want me to choose the faculty based on my own preference, and they want me to really rely on myself, and they supported me very well. They didn't pressure me to you have to quickly choose which one to go into. They didn't rush me, but they encouraged me to take time and find the right choice.
Yeah.
Because they didn't graduate from medical track or the faculty that is very academic, so they kind of understand that they're not that fixed or like
Yeah.
only have that mindset of like, oh, you have to get into the faculty that is very competitive or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they supported me very well. And once I could decide that, oh, I want to get into the Faculty of Communication Arts, I told them, and they send me like workshops that I can join, and they send me news about the faculty, and yeah, they're very supportive.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. I'm so happy to hear that. It's wonderful to have that kind of family support, because that's number one, isn't it? That the people that you love and that are closest to have that support behind you. That can make up for other things when things are not going really, really well for you. But just on that point, and if we can think about how support is extended beyond the family into perhaps the university itself, I was just wondering if you've either A, considered the support network at your particular university before applying or during applying, if that was one of the things that perhaps you researched. Or whether you found out since that time about the support network. So the kind of things I'm thinking about would be, in terms of support, would be things like career advice, all right, going forward, health support, health advice, both physical and mental health advice, that it's all available, and there's lots of documentation that's readily available to students, and they're aware of that. And yeah, all kinds of other social contacts that can really support as well. I know I would say all universities have an alumni network. All right, an alumni network is incredibly important. And we have that here. Without that, we wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be talking to you, because you've graduated already. So being able to stay in contact with a former place that you studied at is incredibly important. So having that network. So yeah, Atom, so that other kind of support, external of the family, to what extent did you consider that, or have you learned about that, and what's out there for you at Chula?
You mean like other support that helped me to make my decision?
Yeah, so things like, perhaps that, when if you could think back to when you were making the choice, if they were giving you like personal support there to help you make your choice, but also in general, so to any student who might need career advice, for example, or health advice about, is that readily available at Chula?
I'll talk about before getting into Chula
Sure.
first. During my preparation journey, I think one of the most important thing that you have to consider is the group of friends that you're with, both inside school and out of school, because the people who you surround yourself with are really important. Because if you're with the right group of friends, you'll do activities and you will prioritize things the same way. And I think just be with the friends who are supportive, understand you, and can motivate you, can really like make you successful in your application process. So that's a very important thing that I want to recommend for any of you who are still in school. And for in the uni, the uni just started like 3 weeks ago, but I knew that there's like this service that the uni provides that helped with the students who might be struggling with their mental health or some kind of
Yeah.
mental issues, because it's really easy for us, especially like teenagers, because we experience different kind of pressure, and especially it's located in Bangkok. The environment and the atmosphere is very fast paced, and it's really easy for you to get depressed or to have mental issues. So you can seek help from the university, or I recommend you to just search on YouTube. YouTube is really helpful. There are so many like experts about mental health that can give you advices that you can find like in general. And another advice that I would give to you is to try and practice meditation. I think it's really helpful. I tried meditation during my application process too because I was very stressed. Yeah. And I think meditation really helps.
Thank you, Atom. You made some fantastic points there and given some really, really good advice. Thank you so much for that. There's a lot of interesting things there. So listening to that, Kate, did any of what Atom said chime with you, and or is there anything you'd like to add that was more personal to you?
Actually, I think M4, M3 or M4, I'm not sure. During the time that I have to decide the university and the faculty, because my mom, she has a little bit pressure because she worried about me, and I'm very stressed. So I did meet the psychologist at school that they provide us. So I went to talk to him, and it helped a lot. And also, yeah, like Atom said, friends is very important too. They will help and support you a lot if you have good friends. For me, before entering university, I have a mental breakdown because I overworking myself. So I don't recommend you every people who to do that. If you're working on portfolio right now, if you feel you're very stressed, take a step back and then relax yourself, because I find out I get mental breakdown because I overworking myself and then stress myself too much. Also, my university didn't open yet, but I've heard from the orientation that they have a Google form that if you have any problem with teacher or friends, you can fill in the form and then they will talk to you later on.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kate. Just hearing these ideas from you, I mean, it's so powerful, what you're saying, and it's so important, because we're human. All of these things, affect us, and yes, we do have a lot of work to do, and we want to do the best, and this is the opportunity. You're young, you finish school, you go to university, you want to make the right. This is what we're talking about, and I think I'm so glad to hear what you're saying, because this is why it's so important to be doing things like this, to be able to communicate this to our viewers, so that some of the younger ones, and we know we'll be having a lot of parents listening to this, and they can help their children, their younger children, along the way, as they get to that age, and give them the right support. So, yeah. What you say is so important, and it's so important also to have this kind of support network, both at home and in your institution that you are studying at. Okay, nobody should feel that they are left alone to struggle with lots of stress. So it's fantastic. Your ideas and advice, absolutely fantastic. Thank you both very much. So look, we've been talking for about half an hour now, and I'm just looking at a couple of questions that have been written in the comments section. So if it's okay with you, we'll just maybe deal with one or two of those. I think we've covered one. How did SBS prepare you for university? I think we've kind of covered that in some detail. So there's one for you, Atom, here. Is it possible for you to give a bit of detail about the compulsory subjects for your particular program that you needed for the particular program that you're studying now? Were there compulsory subjects and examinations that you had to do? Atom, this is for you, Atom.
So the subjects or exam that I used.
Yeah. So it says. What detail or what subject were compulsory under your program? So I think that means what did you need to study? What qualifications did you need to get in order to do the program that you're studying now?
If it's in terms of the program that you take during high school, it's not that fixed. You can study science or math or even media to get into communication arts. Because for me at first I was in science track, but I just started my media studies later on. So I think it doesn't that important for you to study media studies in order to get into communication arts. But the main requirement is your SAT score. So for the requirements of communication arts, there are academic part, which are like the standardized tests. There are English proficiency tests, which I used IELTS. It's 40%. And then math test, which I used SAT, and that's 20%. That's basically the academic part, but then you also need a portfolio too, and it's 20%. And I think this is the hardest part because you have to be very creative and you have to know how to be more outstanding than other applicants. So I think this is the most challenging part. And then you need another 20%, which is the interview part. But for the academic part, you only need the English proficiency test and the math test score. You don't need any science or media subjects. You just need math and English.
Okay, and so you think the portfolio part was the most difficult for you, in your opinion, yeah? But that was weighted 20%, did you say?
English is 40%.
Okay.
So English way more.
Yeah.
Portfolio.
Okay. I gotcha. All right. Yeah. Thank you. So thank you very much for the question to the viewer who wrote that question. And thank you, Atom, for the detailed answer there. So it looks like it's kind of flexible in terms of subjects, but there are certain criteria that you have to take care of that have their own weights attached to them, portfolio being one of them as well, and SAT being quite significant in this respect. And for Thai universities, that is an important examination. And I have another question here about, it's kind of a little bit connected to that. So is the process of application the same for international universities as Thai universities? Well, let me just ask you two. Did you apply for any international universities? You're both at Thai universities. Did you make any, or did you consider applying abroad? No.
I didn't apply for any international university.
Right.
Only Thai.
Okay. And Cake? No. Right. Well, I can't answer for everyone. I think the universities will have their own personal, individual criteria for entrance. Okay, so that's every individual university. So even in Thailand, every individual university will have their own entrance requirements, and every faculty within that university and every course will have that. So you really have to, in order to answer that question successfully, I think you've got to research the particular university you're interested in going to, the particular country you're going to. So the same answer really applies worldwide. And here, I think our platform Unifrog could be very, very useful to do that, because you don't need to go anywhere. You've got it at your fingertips, and you can, filters are built into Unifrog, so you can search the places, and it will take you right there, and it will give you all of that information that you need. So if you need to do entrance examinations at a particular deadline for a particular course, it will tell you exactly what you need to do in Unifrog. And actually just this week we had the representative speaker who's based in Hong Kong actually visited the school, the Unifrog representative, and gave our students and some parents an interactive workshop on just that thing, actually. So searching for universities around the world and what that looks like on the platform and what you can do with that and what information will come up and the requirements needed. So it was, really useful to be able to share that with the students. So Unifrog is one place, of course, but of course you can go directly to the university websites as well, and they should be able to answer all of those questions for you. So the short answer is it will really depend on which university, which course, which faculty you want to go to, and they will differ and change according to all of those different factors. So sorry, I can't give you a more specific, detailed answer than that, but it just requires a bit of research and you'll get the answers that you need. I've got one here. Cake, follow your dreams, pursue your goals. That's not a question, but it's a very nice thing to say. So I thought I'd read that out. Here's one. Any different admissions processes? So Thai universities, I think we've just been talking about that. Thai universities, English programs versus universities in the US. Yeah, again, I think that's very similar to what I've just been saying about how the admissions process will differ according to the particular institution that you want to study at and the particular course and faculty. Okay, and please remember, viewers, that universities, things change all the time. Okay, things change all the time. Universities are very big places. There's lots of things going on. It's like a kind of microcosm of life. And I'm sure and most of our viewers, if not all of them, would have studied at universities themselves, so they know this. So there's a lot going on, and things change all the time. So things need to be updated all the time. And there are people working around the clock to make sure that all the correct information is out there for communication to everyone who needs it. All right, so it's no good having information that's outdated because that will be wasting people's time. So yes, be aware that things are always changing and always being updated by individual universities and faculties within those universities and so on. All right, so websites will be updated, Unifrog as well, and again, this week when our representative was here, she actually did mention this point. So it was interesting to hear that, how Unifrog itself updates its own digital platform based on what I've just been saying, I don't know what the process is that they go through, but it sounds like a very difficult job to be able to because, the sheer quantity of information on Unifrog is huge. All right, so, you can visit so many universities all over the world. Hundreds, if not thousands of them, and all the different faculties and all the different courses within there. So you can imagine, even in just one university alone, how many different changes there are going to be, even just on a weekly basis. So to update all of that information must be incredibly difficult and time-consuming, but that's what they do. So that's good to know. So that Unifrog platform is up to date and relevant. Just seeing if there are any other questions, not for the moment. So good. So I kind of feel like we're coming towards the end of the discussion, which has been absolutely fantastic. I can sit here for another couple of hours happily talking to you guys, but I know you're also, you've got things to do and you're very busy. And yeah, perhaps we can just finish with, talking about how you started, haven't you, Atom? You've already started your course. So just wondering what that was like so far for you. I believe you start Cake in a couple of weeks' time, is that right? Or very, very soon, end of this month? All right.
I did have intensive course last month in the university. Yes.
Okay, great. So Atom, what's it been like so far for you? And you could say anything that you want, just be honest. And I know it's early days, but is it so far living up to your very high expectations? Is it meeting your preferred learning style? And don't forget we all have different learning styles. All right, talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
It's very challenging. It was more challenging than I thought it would be. Each day I studied in 5 days, Monday to Friday. I studied full day for 3 days and then half day for 1 day, and then there's no lesson 1 day. So it might sound like not that intense, but it's really intense because the lecture is really fast-paced, and the teacher really dig very deep into the information. And the subjects, I haven't had like any experience on those subjects before, like public relations and social science communication and stuff like that. So it's very new for me. And most of them are lectures, and there's a lot of group works too, and a lot of presentations. And most of the exams will be oral presentations. So
Yeah.
I have to practice a lot of my presentation,
Yeah.
oral presentation skills, and I have to work a lot with friends. Like though most of them are group works,
Yeah.
so I have to develop my collaboration skills and stuff. And another thing that I like so far is the activities that the uni provides. There's so many activities that they're open for students to join. They're both like sports competition. Right now, I'm participating in the Freshie Games, and I was in the badminton team, so it was very fun. And there's also this activities where you can create your own podcast channel, which is really new for me, but it's very fun too. And also other activities that it's like more academic. For example, like I didn't really get to know the detail of it yet, but I heard that it's something with Harvard University, so I feel like I want to get to know more about that. And other activities like musicals, because it's communication arts, so the musical activity is a very major one. That's basically what I experienced so far.
You have it sounds like you have a very full life, and you started there by talking about all the academic, the amount of work that you're doing, but also, they're offering, of course, as universities do, they offer all of these extracurricular ECAs, which you can really get involved in, and you might be wondering how you're going to find the time to be able to do all of these things, especially at the beginning where it can be quite overwhelming, and it was a long time ago for me, but I do remember those first few weeks did feel a bit overwhelming at times, because you go and meet your tutors for your courses, and I remember getting the book lists, in that first week for every course, and so suddenly you see, these huge lists that you have of all these books. You think, oh my God, how am I going to do all this work? And then you realise that no, that's the book list for the whole year. Don't worry, you're not expected to read all these, in this week, and then you'll get another list next week. So, but it just seemed a bit daunting, right at the beginning. But those other activities are very important because that's also what university is for. They have great facilities. There's a lot of students. You'll meet fantastic friends. You have the time of your life, and that opportunity for, your personal development. Your personal development outside of the academic development. You would expect to have academic development in a university, but you must have personal development at the same time. That's very satisfying for you personally. That's incredibly important that those two things go together. And you would expect me to say something like that as the head of the student development department in SBS, but it's very true. Interesting to hear about all of those things. So how about you, Kate? So you said you did a preliminary course to get you prepared. What was that like?
So it's like 3-week courses. So each week we have like different subjects. So we have a Photoshop, Illustrator, and drawing. So since my year, we have like reaching like almost 100 students. So the university divide us into like 3 groups. So the first week I study Illustrator, which everyone is very nice, teacher is very nice and pretty chill. Like they would teach us like the basic stuff of like how to use the program. So when you go and study, you don't have to worry like you don't know how to use it. And for the second week, I study Photoshop, which is actually not really Photoshop. It's like drawing on like the application, the software, which I think the assignment for that week is t-shirt design. And my teacher is from like Florida, so he's very like energetic, and he like encouraged us to work a lot, and also he's really like encouraged us to work, like he is worrying about us, like okay, if there is like if you got a job, go do the job before you study, because you come to university to study to find jobs. So if you have opportunity to work in any company, just go and do it first. And also, like the last week, I studied drawing, which is pretty fine for me. But it's like pretty difficult for me because I'm not really good at traditional drawings. But the teacher also like always give us advice like after classes and in the classes too.
Yeah, that's thank you, Kate. That's good advice from that teacher to yeah, if you have an opportunity to do something that you're really interested in, a job like that, before you get stuck into all of your studies, where you probably won't have the time after that, it's a good opportunity to take, and you should do it. But I think many young students don't actually do that, I think, from my observation, because maybe they don't get the opportunity, or they feel that, oh, if I take time out now, a sabbatical, and go and work for a year or something, you know, will I get in later on? Will they ask questions and say, why didn't you just go straight from high school into university, you know? But in my opinion, if I was interviewing you at university, that would be a good thing. That would show that you're interested in, you've gained experience, all right? And very valuable experience outside of university, and despite all of that and earning money, you still come back to want to be a student and apply to our university. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned personally, that should be a huge benefit to your application. Okay, so yeah, good advice from your teacher, and if students ever get that opportunity, they perhaps should take it for all of those reasons, because it can even add a quality to the portfolio that you didn't have before. So yeah, fantastic. All right, guys, it's almost an hour now. Can I just finish on, oh, this is a nice question actually to finish on. I think I know the answer to it. Sorry, I'm just glancing to my right. I'm looking at my phone here. So are Cake and Atom happy with their choices? And I see you nodding. Maybe not 100%, but I get the impression that you are. And but yeah, tell us. But from the discussion, my feeling is that, yeah, you're happy, certainly happy enough. Perhaps Atom first for this one.
I'm very happy with my decision, and my life so far in the uni is very good and very challenging too, but very fun too. Like it's like opening the door for me, because I feel like I'm living alone too now. So it's like an adulting process for me, which of course they have to be like both positive and negative sides, but it's very challenging, and I think it's very meaningful to me. And it's my right decision because, as I've mentioned, I rely on myself a lot in making the decision, so I don't regret anything.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so delighted to hear that, and you know, from all of us here at SBS, we're all delighted to hear that. Of course we are, and I'm sure the viewers will be as well. So, you know, keep up the great work, Atom. You know, and yeah, I know we all know how great you are working. You're a very strong person working independently, but you're also great at working in a group. But you know, if you ever need any advice, you know, from us, you know where we are. Okay, our doors are always open. And so thanks, Kate, Atom. Cake, over to you. Yeah, I think you're happy as well where you are.
Yes, I'm very happy like where I am, because my friends is very nice, my senior is very nice, and the teacher is also very nice. And I did find like a little bit difficulty at first, like before I attend here, because of like the portfolio and stuff. But past of that, it's like everything is fine, and I'm very happy like where I am now.
Oh, it's wonderful to hear. Again, Kate, you know, we are so happy also on your behalf, you know, that you are. And please stay that way, both of you, and wish you the very, very best of luck in all the hard work that's to come for you, and do your best. We know you will. And it just remains for me to say to both of you, you know, thank you so much for doing this. You know, you are absolutely wonderful, and I'm sure our viewers will agree. You know, what you explained today to our viewers was so interesting and thoughtful, and you've given great advice. You've shared wonderful experiences. I'm sure we would all agree with that. So I can't thank you enough for doing this. It's really to all of your credit. It's another thing you can put in your portfolios, of course, and you deserve it. So, yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and for listening. And, yeah, that's it. So we'll sign off there and enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll speak to you soon. And, yeah, all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.